Good morning, Darklings. How are you today? I hope you're well. I am well, and I finally have enough time to hopefully focus on a little bit of tags. There are quite a few I want to do. I'm just going to go ahead and dive into the Witches into the Void, created by the beautiful and amazing Amber over at Psychopomp of the Void. And then we have Draven as well. And I will leave both of their links in the description. Go check out their videos. They are amazing. I love how deep they are. I love how creative they are. And I love this tag overall because it completely aligns in the work that I've been doing personally and alchemically. We're going to get into all of that. And man, I had to rewatch Amber's too because I'm telling you, that amazing woman reminds me so much of myself. Like twinsies, twinning, right? So much. I admire her. I admire her mind. I admire her thoughts. And Draven as well. Very amazing stuff that comes from these two incredible people. And they really are a gift to our community. So I would love to see everybody else's tags. And I know I need to catch up on some, but you know what? I'll get there. I'll get there. Sorry. So, all right, guys, grab you a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, something. Let's get into this. So the first prompt is the autumn breeze, and the question, what essence does Samhain have for you? How do you know when the veil is thinning? And I may have paraphrased on a little bit of these, and I'm going to answer most, but some of them I kind of left out only because I'm pressed for time, and that is regrettable. But, so what essence does Samhain carry for me? Would most definitely be the time of the year that I seem to perk up more. I know people talk about having a seasonal depression a lot, but for me, around this time of year is when I come alive. It's always kind of been that way. And I love the winter months. I love this half of the year. It's actually summertime where I get a little down. The essence is so powerful. You can smell it, you can feel it in the air. I feel like you just sense more awakening into that darker half of the year. For me, it's like a sense of more. And there's kind of a hint or breeze of mystery in it because it's like all things are possible. I believe that to be the case anyway, but you're more in tune with it or in touch around this time of year. I don't know exactly what to call it or label it, but there is definitely a shift. There is some shift that I feel like we can all feel around this time. Our being opens and awakens and interprets different. Feel it in every energy and every essence around you, especially when I'm outside. It's everywhere. I don't know if you want to call it spirit or spirits. I don't know how to really explain what I'm trying to say, but there's just something more around you this time of year, around me anyway. I feel that. How I know the veil's thinning, well, I mean, I think there are a lot of times that veil thins, but I guess for myself, I'm kind of always in tune with that veil, so I couldn't tell you. I know around specific times of this year, paranormal activity may heighten a little more. Maybe that's because of my awareness with that whole essence or feeling of there's more there. It's difficult to perceive if you're not aware and in tune with it, and maybe the rest of the other seasons or year, some people just may not be in tune with it. I feel like I kind of am all year round. It's very hard to distinguish that for someone like me, because it's just kind of always thin for me, right? I don't know really how else to put that, which I'm working on that. And I think that goes along with the second question, the cloak. How do you protect yourself energetically during Samhain? That's difficult for me. It's difficult for me all year round. So it may sound cool when I say that, you know, I'm kind of, the veil's always thin for me all year round, but in hindsight, it's really not, because there's a lot that I don't feel like I can fully protect myself from, like in terms of I'd like to ignore it and not have anything to do with it, but I just can't. You know, it's just something built in me since a kid, and that's spirits. People, other things, magic, whatever. And 9 times out of 10 spirits I can protect myself from. But what I'm saying is, when you're in tune with a thin veil, or 1 foot inside one door, 1 foot inside the other your whole life, it's difficult to know how to always control and turn that off. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. If you truly are like this, I don't think you can have full control over that. That's just my opinion. I've talked to a lot of other people, a lot of other mediums. They have all these methods and they help. They absolutely help, but nothing can completely turn this off. So I see an experience what I'm gonna see an experience, and that's a little something I'm working on this year too, because it's working with it versus running from it. I've come a long way in that, because when I was a child, I was scared shitless of all of this. But as I started getting into my later teen years on, I started working with a little bit, but it just gets very intense sometimes, and it's very hard to live with at times. You have your own issues, and you're kind of taking on issues of other entities or consciousness or energies, and that can become a lot. So how I protect myself mainly, or how I'm going to start practicing to protect myself, is working with it instead of fighting against it. If I have no full control to completely ignore it and shut it out of my life, then that means it is who I am, and I need to embrace who I am and stop running from who I am. That's the best way I could protect myself. At least that is where I'm at right now, and my thinking right now about that. I hope that made sense. The doctor put me on new medicine, so I'm a little weird. Sorry. Number 3, the harvest. What have you been cultivating all year that is time to collect and close? I am going through a working that I started around the beginning of the year. It was the 13 keys tag that I've been working with the divine feminine, the dark feminine, all year long, month to month, doing a whole lot. That has turned into an alchemical process of the self, and it couldn't have led me to a better place, because it led me here. And it's kind of parallel to their tag, Into the Void, because that is where I'm being led yet again. I feel like the alchemical process of, quote, perfecting the self and going within, you have to sit with it. You have to sit with the darkness, and you have to do this more than once throughout your life. I don't feel like we just do it once and then we're suddenly the Philosopher's Stone. I feel like it takes a whole hell of a lot of work to get there. And I'm so happy that I did, because I can feel myself changing, my point of view, my consciousness, the way I'm seeing things, the way I'm interpreting them, feeling them, internalizing it. It definitely feels good, like the work pays off when you sit with so much and so much darkness and truly face it, and you deal with, quote, deaths of the old self, and let go of things. It's amazing what comes in to replace that. And something I am learning is you need to let go to allow more to come in. And that's quite a lot intensity this year for me. Something I'm letting go is a lot of the ego deaths. That's where, probably not what you think, but it is where I sit with things that give me a false sense of power. And I allow them to die in the void in my descent into my own underworld, so that I may sit and face myself, who I am, and understand where I want my ego to operate from, my higher or lower self. The act of balancing my identity, but it's deeper than that, because it is the act of actually identifying who you are at a soul level and then bringing that to the forefront of the ego and balancing it. And I don't care who you are, it's deep work, it is difficult work, and nobody's perfect in that area, and nobody has all the answers. I think it's a very deeply personal journey that one has to take. You really can't tell others how to do it. But it is changing me the more I let go of who I perceived I once was. So what am I letting go this year? Me. If that makes sense. The person that I became or identified with for social media, for my social life, for everybody else. And I am molding and shaping who I am at my core level and bringing her in the most rawest, authentic way forward. So I think it's quite beautiful, though the work and the process is quite daunting. But something's working for me, because my reality is becoming a whole lot better. Number 4, the hearth. What energies are you looking to invite into your sacred space? Share a paranormal experience. So what's cool about this is I definitely invite ancestors, have my ancestor altar built, but I also built a beautiful altar for Hecate and Lilith. And I'm going to be inviting not only those energies, but each energy that I worked with this year, I want to bring to the forefront in a giant ritual I'm going to be doing, where I call on all of them to join my circle, and I just honor them in the utmost way, with offering, with gratitude, and with just embracing their help. These archetypes and their energies helped me get here each month in some sort of way, and I think it's going to be beautiful. Normally I'll do a dance with the dead on Samhain by a fire. Don't know. I'd like to do it, but I don't know if I'll be able to again this year. We'll see. And then oftentimes energies seem to just kind of invite themselves, and I'll just have to decipher if I want them here or not. Number 5, candlelight. What energy process or spirit do you wish to sit in stillness with on Samhain? So this one, to me, I'm going to go along with what Amber said in her video, because I think it was genius, okay? And I think I'd like to kind of do that, okay? Monkey see, monkey do. I want to do this anyway, and I feel like I've been practicing this, but as a magical working for Samhain, I didn't think to do this, and she inspires me in a lot of ways, so many ways, but I think I would like to sit with aspects of myself in the void too. I want to explore that as well. I want to know who I am, don't we all? And we can say we know who we are. The ego's going to fight, till the death to protect you, or protect its illusions. But I feel like There is so much more to me that I haven't discovered. I feel like we have that in all of us. So much more to us we haven't discovered about ourselves. There's always something new there that we can learn about the self. And I think that's beautiful. I too have experienced a lot of darkness in my life. I want to know how that affected and contributed to my illusions. I definitely went through a lot of states of dissolution, of a reality or sense of reality that's been obscured. I feel like we can all go there. There's just different depths or levels to it. And a lot of disassociation. And I've been practicing through this great working I've been doing all year of not disassociating, of being here, being present, and identifying things I'm doing, things I'm saying, things other people are to me, and how this all works and contributes into aspects of who I am. I have a alter ego I would like to explore. She's been with me for a while, and guys, I acknowledge that I created her. I know what she is. I know how it sounds. But it was my way of coping with a lot of the trauma that I had been through. And when I had went through another experience, I thought that I had fully integrated her and loved her. But she went away for a long time after that, unless things get very, very stressful. Now I'm at a place where I want to sit with that. I want to sit with her because I feel like it became a thought form of my most darkest qualities. She looks identical to me, paler, scars all over her, sadder, very, very dark entity here, thought form that I had created. And I think that was a separation when some things happened, so I could take all of these parts and put it in her here, and feel safe. Now, I acknowledged all of this years ago, and then when I had gotten sober years ago, it was through that I had looked at her one day when I would avoid her when she would appear to me, and I told her that I loved her and that nobody else properly did, but I do. And there's a certain kind of intimacy to that, an intimacy of sitting with that aspect of yourself, those aspects of yourself, and completely surrendering to them. I want to know why I feel like society puts so much on us to separate those very real human experiences and feelings. That you're not a good person if you're dark or angry or sad or upset. It's always keep your vibration high. You can't deal with these. So we even do it in the spiritual community. It's sitting with it and acknowledging that there's no reason to be ashamed or feel guilty of these things. It is a very real human experience we all go through. And all of us have our quirks. All of us have aspects. All of us have things that we deny, run from, feel, seek, desire, love. It's all a part of it. And I am trying to sit with all of that and just embrace it all. Number 6, the mirror. What must you reflect upon? Death cycles, darkness and light. Share your internal alchemical process of accepting the shift of seasons. I think I already explained quite a bit of that, but I will talk about my process. I have been doing, and I've even put up an episode in my memberships, but I will get more out because it's kind of like a process of my work as of late and descending into the self, the subconscious, and the dark, the underworld of the self, and really trying to move away from dissolution or from disassociation and sitting with things in the darkness. I don't feel like there's a separation, and I feel like part of what I've concluded in my work is to always try to, it's good to have a positive mindset, and it's very good to move on from these certain feelings. But when we're not allowing ourselves to feel it out of fear our vibration's going to get messed up, or when we are totally denying these emotions because we don't want to manifest something bad, then that, I think, too, is a trick. I've come to that conclusion. I feel like there truly is no separation in all of these things. So then we must feel it. We must face it, and we must allow it in order to get to that better vibration or that more positive mindset. I think it's an issue if we get stuck either way, though. You get stuck into the darkness or these feelings in this state, you could eventually move into that victim mentality, and that's a trick of, or an illusion of the ego. And then you could move into too positive and completely fall into dissolution and disassociation with the self. And that's where we're just saying we're going to keep the vibration high. Nope, 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 nope. I'm not going to, oh, I'm feeling sad. Oh, no, 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 no. We're happy, we're happy. And I feel like either of those are, it's balance, the balance inside. And I feel like when we face it, we admit to ourselves what we're feeling, even the darker things, like when you're angry. Okay, you're angry. Express that, face it, sit with it, ask yourself how you can deal with this, how you can cope. Make that a process, and then use that as your stepping stones to the lighter things and that better mindset. And how can I transmute this from here to here? It's all a constant process or exercise. So anyway, that is what I've been practicing, and that's been my process thus far, which is only stage 1 and 2 that I have been working on personally in the alchemical process of the descent. When I get to the last stage, well, that's going to take some time and some work, but that's what my memberships are all about, is that entire journey with me through it to that 7th stage, because this truly is a journey. No great working is going to be done overnight. And right now it's perfect for this time of year. It aligns for these first 2 alchemical stages and processes that I am right now working on and sitting with. Number 7, the death. Name something you need to let go of. There's a lot of things I need to let go of, and I think I talked about that. I covered it. And mainly that's going to be illusions. Illusions. Maybe it'll be some people. Maybe it'll be places. Maybe it'll be things and habits. We'll see. But I'm also practicing truth of feelings. So I'm letting go the false sense of security that keeping things in or saying things that I think people want to hear. Those are false senses of security for me. If you want to leave me now, leave. But I'm going to say how I feel in the truth and practice the art of no shame for that. And practice also being just me, and I mean, the right ones will stay, the wrong ones will go, and that used to be my fear. So it's also letting go of all of these fears that I have that really it doesn't benefit me to have, because it serves me. In fact, if somebody wants to leave, they were never meant for you anyway, right? Why keep them around if you have to feel like you're going to walk on eggshells for being judged? Also, that's another big point that I've noticed has been beneficial to me, judgments and such. I've always been one, I don't really care what others think when it comes to like how I express myself, but I do care. Like, I feel like there's different layers to that when we say that. And if we say anything else, then I feel like that isn't fully the truth. If we really take a step back and analyze that, because I used to think, I don't care what anyone thinks. But there are certain aspects I did care about what other people thought. And that was if they were close to me, how they loved me, how I wanted to keep that love, right? And this too can be a false illusion or a false security, because I didn't want to be judged. Because when I was young, I feel like I was very, very judged and mercilessly bullied for being very awkward, socially awkward. I was just a very weird kid, and I got afraid to start letting people see me because judgments, right? Well, now I'm practicing in this great working. When somebody's judging me, it really has nothing to do with me. If you say you love me, you're going to love all of me. But if you're judging me, that's a you problem. I could see if I was just a shitty human being or a shitty person, or I said or did something wrong. But just solely judging me to judge me, humble me, whatever, however you want to perceive somebody could do this. And I mean, I experience it at work. I experience it in a lot of different scenarios or situations. But now I'm just kind of like, yeah, there is a certain protection I think I've put up against that, to where I don't take it to heart. Like for me though, it's like a protection against myself. That intrusion of that voice wanting to panic when I receive a judgment. That voice wanting to get defensive, cry, or be wounded from it. Because every time I get a judgment, it would feel like a wound, right? Like a stab in the chest. Now it's like, I'm going to take that knife out of me, and here, you can have it back, type of thing. I hope that makes sense. Number 8, the void. Share an experience you had going into your own inner underworld. So a lot of that I've already shared that I could share. It's very, very personal and intimate work. So there is a lot I think I might share later about this. I'm just not ready to right now. However, I can share an experience where I believed before this great working this year that I did do this. And of course, that was when I had experimented with LSD. I do not condone this. I'm only sharing an experience. Anyway, so the first night I had tried it, it was amazing. I felt connected to the goddess. I felt connected to my partner. We had laughed the entire night. It was beautiful. I shared my experience on here in a previous video. It was a great experience. And then the second time I had tried it, my alter ego had appeared to me and stalked me that entire freaking night. And it scared the ever-living crap out of me. And my entire house turned dark. Like, it was my house, but it wasn't my house. Doors were melting. And everywhere I turned and looked, I could not get away from that alter ego. And that was pretty bad. Pretty bad. And now at the time I didn't understand what it was. Now I understand. I feel like it was a descent, and it was attempting to get me to face myself, face this. And I feel like the journey since then has led me there, led me here. So really, I'm grateful for it. The ascent. Remember, you are alive. Share a way you keep your practice full of light. By keeping my passion, by keeping things that I love and enjoy doing, by getting excited about things. That's how I keep it alive. If I feel like I'm getting stagnant and stale, I'll take a break, but also maybe plan some things that I might be interested in then, because just like cycles, I feel like we're always changing, even our interests, and that's okay. Things that we're into. Go after what makes you feel good, what makes you feel passionate. Number 13, the liminal. What are you trying to integrate or take away from Samhain? And what do you want to accomplish utilizing these energies? I want to accomplish full integration and acknowledging who I am and who I can be, who I want to be. And it's a total death and rebirth process, a total transformation, and a total personal atonement as well, right? I am sitting with all of it in the void, and I want to work on each individually and look at this as a great alchemical working or process as I do all of this and go in stages and just work some stuff out, right? If you put it shortly, just work some things out about myself spiritually and psychologically. And I feel like it's been very beneficial. I feel a lot more enlightened through this process, and I hope to accomplish me. I hope to discover me by my own direction, by my own choosing, not out of obligation of who I feel like I have to be. Well, this was a very vulnerable video. I feel naked now, but it's my journey, and we know that I started my channel to share my journey, almost like a diary of sorts. So this was an excellent tag, very, very deep, and I want to thank you, Amber and Draven, once again. I really enjoyed making this and answering these. I hope it made sense. I am feeling a little weird. I got switched on a prescription yesterday, and I don't know if I like it, guys. I feel very weird. Anyway, not that you needed to know that. It's just I can't even tell if this video is turning out right. So, but all right, I love you all so, so much. And I thank you all for your support. I see that the subs are climbing, the views are climbing. And you know what? I can't do that without you. I can't complete my goals without you. So I thank you so much. You guys are freaking awesome. And I'm sending you so much love.